I kind of joined the government by accident. I was an education major in college, and I got a grant to go overseas to Japan, in fact, to work on my thesis. And while I was there and living overseas and learning a foreign language, I thought, this is kind of fun. I like this. I want to find a career that allows me to do this. And the State Department at that time was hiring people, and particularly looking for people with Japanese language experience. And so I ended up joining the Department of State. I worked overseas on America's behalf for 24 years. Most of my work was involved in helping American citizens, what we call American Citizen Services. And this is something as simple as social work on steroids. When people get into trouble and need some help from their government overseas, I was the guy who did that. And so I went to Americans who were in jail. I helped people in the hospital. When an American passed away overseas, I saw that his or her remains were repatriated back to the United States. When disaster struck, I was there to try to assist, if I could, plane crashes, the big Asian tsunami in Thailand, earthquakes, wherever people needed help, I was there to provide it. And it was something I was very proud of, work I was very pleased to do. I came back to Washington and was working in a job that was boring me to death. The combination of my daughter's tuition bills, board in Washington, and these new volunteer programs led me to raise my hand and say, I'll go to Iraq. My goal was to do whatever I had to do for a year and come back to my family and come back to Washington. What I saw in Iraq changed me. The waste, the mismanagement, the silliness of what we were trying to do, reconstruct the country while we were simultaneously helping destroy it, changed me. And I realized I needed to tell this story to people. I needed to let Americans know what I knew about what was going on in Iraq. And from that, my book evolved. We Meant Well, How I Helped Lose the Battle for the Hearts and Minds of the Iraqi People. The title evolved from some of the conversations I had with some of my colleagues in Iraq. A lot of folks understood the problems. They understood that we were wasting time, wasting money, that we were oftentimes doing harm, not good, in Iraq. Some of them played along because they were getting paid to play along. Others couldn't really have the courage to step back and say to themselves, I need to do something different. But a core group of us understood this was wrong and that we were doing something wrong. And I hate to say, but there evolved almost a sarcastic refrain when we come in from the field, but saying, well, it didn't work out, but we meant well. And we started to share that with one another. It became almost a code. I try to use dark humor and sarcasm to draw up out some points, some very serious points about how America failed in Iraq.